So do you have any experience with drug and alcohol, or is it something you're interested in?
I don't have experience in the field. I've always been raised in a predominantly drug and alcohol area.
Okay.
South Jersey is number one for alcohol abuse in all of New Jersey. So I'm just used to being around that all the time. Technically, my track is mental clinical health. That's really what I want to do.
Okay.
But it's to get my foot in the door, so I
Yeah.
get started a rehab then.
Well, it sounds like you have a little bit of background and stuff, and then I know you were telling me that you used to be a bartender before,
Yeah.
so I'm sure you can kind of see like the other end
Yep.
of the spectrum there.
Yeah.
So how do you think that carries over, you being a bartender, to kind of counseling?
I don't know. I almost feel like it's good, but at the same time, like I can see how people would be like skeptical about me being a counselor because I am constantly around people that drink and party, and I can see how it has a bad like I don't know.
Connotation.
Yeah, like people like look at bartenders like they're partiers and they can't be serious. So sometimes I can see it being a problem.
So how does that make you feel?
I don't know. It's more of like a judging thing. Like I think bartenders it's just a way of life. It's just a way to make money, just like any other job. So.
Well, there you go. As long as you can kind of keep it like that, then I don't really think you'll have a problem. So you told me about your family and how you're making friends down here and stuff. And so what are you doing on your free time with your friends?
Getting to know the area, really. Going to Clematis Street for Rocco's Tacos on Tuesdays. Laying by the pool, going to the beach, stuff like that.
That sounds fun. So you're like in school and everything now. How did you do in school before? How was your school experience before?
I always did well academically in school, elementary through high school, even in my undergrad. Never had like a problem with school. I always made friends easily, did well. It was just
perfect. So what do you think? How do you think counseling kind of came out for you as a career?
Well, I had a counselor in the 6th grade who I felt wasn't very good, and I went through like a anxiety, like separation anxiety phase where I didn't want to go to school ever. I was just so sad, like all the time. I hated school, and my counselor basically gave me a tissue and sent me back to class. Wow. So she was pretty harsh, and I just from then on wanted to be a counselor, a better one.
So not a good experience, but it kind of motivated you instead of
definitely
the other way. That's great. So you did well in school and everything. Did you do any sports or anything in high school?
I actually wasn't a part of any teams. I was in dance. I belonged to a dance studio, and I did gymnastics, and we had competitions all the time. So both my sister and I were always at the studio.
Oh, wow. Well, that sounds fun. You kind of sound like an active person. That's good. So, got a little bit of your history, and you're making friends and stuff. How are romantic relationships going for you?
I've always really only had one serious relationship. Met him when I was 16. Been with him up until last weekend.
Okay. So fairly new.
Yeah, we were together for 6 years, and once I moved here, I guess it was too much. He couldn't be without me, so he cheated on me while I was gone.
Okay.
So now I'm riding solo.
So how did that kind of play out? It was your choice to...
Oh, yeah, for sure, because he had cheated on me once before, like 4 years ago. So the second time, I was like, oh, no. Not anymore.
So what's going to happen now? He lives home?
Yeah, he lives home.
How do you think that's going to go? From New Jersey, you going to run into him?
I hope not. I really hope not.
We're going to have to...
try and avoid him.
Yeah, maybe make you a little decoy thing or something. Okay, well, I won't go too far into that. So anything kind of going on in your life right now? Like how you're handling stress, or is school stressful, or?
Actually, so far, the school is just like my undergrad school. Like it's less classes, whereas my undergrad, I was taking 5 classes at a time, so my workload, I felt like, was a lot. I was working 2 jobs, whereas here I'm not even working yet, so, for me, I have all the spare time.
Yeah.
Like, I never had that before in my life. Like, I've always been busy, like, juggling things. So now I'm just relaxed all the time. Yeah. I'm like, okay, now what?
Well, that's good. So you get to take a nice little break. So, I mean, I know you said about your boyfriend. So, who do you kind of go to for your support system, and how do you handle those things?
I don't know. Sometimes my mom, a lot of times my sister. You know, and then I have all my girlfriends who are, like, always trying to, like, they call me, like, every day, like, all day long, like, just to check up, like, so, I don't know, but I usually, if I'm upset, I'll call my mom.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So she's kind of like your main base there. That's nice. Do you think you'd ever consider going to a counselor again? I know you said that you had that bad experience, but...
Yeah, I just think, it didn't put, like, a bad taste in my mouth because she was just not good at, like, she wasn't very comforting, whereas I feel like that's important, especially when you're working with children. I would definitely, like, see a counselor again. Like, I have absolutely nothing against it. I want to be one. Like, I think it's a great job. Like, I admire the people that do that.
Okay, good. So it didn't totally beat you up. So what do you kind of are planning for yourself now? And now that that's kind of ended your relationship, where are you now in the future? And what do you see for yourself?
I don't know. Like, I really don't know. Everything I planned was with him, like, because he was supposed to move here. So, you know, I had, like, everything set, and, like, now that he's not here, and now it's, like, I have to readjust and readapt and, like, cope with the new changes.
Right.
Which is so strange for me, because I've always been with him.
So now it's, like, this huge gap to fill.
Yeah. It's, like, so strange. It's weird.
Right. Well, I mean, you're kind of in school now, and it seems like you're kind of filling stuff up, versus if you were up there and that happened, you know, and just kind of having the family life.
Yeah, and it's a little bit easier here because people don't know him, whereas, like, back in our town, like, if I went, you know, out with my friends, like, people would be like, oh, like, how's Eddie? Like, everybody knew him and I, because since high school we've been together, so, you know, it would be constantly, this would remind me, but now that I'm here, I have no reminders. Like, it's like I'm starting fresh.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you can kind of grab hold of that, and it could be okay. Let me see here. So we went over a lot of stuff, and so do you think that's going to put you off from another relationship in the future, or how do you feel about marriage?
I definitely believe in marriage. My parents are separated, but I feel like if you meet the right person, that, you know, why can't you have a successful marriage? Like, I just, I want to get married one day. I want to have kids. I want to have that typical, like, family. As for right now, I'm not looking for any relationships. Like, if I happen to meet somebody that I, you know, feel a certain type of way about, then yeah, but, right now I'm just trying to be on my own for once.
Yeah.
For the first time
in
so long.
That sounds really good. You seem like you kind of got yourself figured out there. So what do you say are your, as a person, your kind of key values and priorities right now, since you were talking about school being your top thing?
School is very important to me, and education. Loyalty is probably my biggest characteristic when I look for friends, family, relationships. Like, I believe that you should, you know, have the other person's back and always support them no matter what they want to do. So that's, like, a really big thing with me, that and being honest. I've always been honest. Sometimes my mom says it's brutally honest, but, you know, I'm not going to tell you something you want to hear. I'm just going to tell you the truth.
Yeah. How does that work out for you with friends and stuff?
Well, they expect it. They know, like, you know, if they're going to ask me, like, I don't voluntarily give my opinion, but if they're going to ask, like, then
here it is.
Yeah, this is what I think, so don't be upset.
Our front and center, that's funny. Okay. And so are there anything that you don't like? If loyalty is what you respect, what are things that you kind of don't like in a person or you don't look for?
I really don't like people that are lazy. There's just, I don't know, I was always raised, my dad has always taught my sister and I to work, you know, work for what, like, my dad's a hard worker. I really don't have much respect for people that are lazy. It just drives me crazy.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay. I'm trying to think.